Are you the type of person that creates a study timetable but never use it? Or you only use it like for the first 2 weeks of school? Are you the type of person that tells someone to add you to a study group but never yet participate? Are you the type of person that doesn't take studying seriously? Come on. Are you the type of person that stays up all night before an exam and trying to get things into your brain? Are you the type of person that stays up like a week or the morning before an exam trying to study? Are you the type of person that tries to study but fall asleep like not even halfway through the study session? Hold on. Are you the type of person that does not study at all? Well, you might get a passing grade, or you might get a grade that you like, or you might fail. Most persons fail. Why not challenge yourself and try to do something better? Stop working to just pass the passing mark. Work to achieve a high grade and not just 60 and 50s because that's a pass mark. I've been there and I've done it. I've stayed up nights before exams trying to study. I've said I'm going to study and not study. I've created study timetables upon study timetables and not used them. I've been there and done there, and it has never yet profited me. Yes, sometimes I might get a pass mark or I might get a high grade that I like, but come on, is that good? Is that okay? Is that why you're going to school? Come on, man. So, I am going to give you guys some really good tips, not just to study, but for this whole online process. I know online school can be a really tough process. I know it can be challenging. But what I'm about to give you, these tips will change you. Not just academically, but mentally. Because I know this online schooling has taken a toll on a lot of us minds. And it has been affecting a lot of us negatively. So, want to change that? Just watch this video. Continue watching. And you'll see how I took on this online schooling. Okay, so your number one tip for online schooling: know your timetable. The problem that we have faced is that we get our timetable and it's like we only look at it on the day when we're packing our bags or on the day that we have class. Come on, man. Know your timetable. And I'm not just saying know it. You have to memorize it in your head. So you know your timetable, you know which day you have class, you know what time you have class. I know that it can be hard to like memorize it at first, but after a while, you're going to know. It's supposed to be the case where if you're not near your timetable and you have school, online school or whatever school, you don't have to look on your timetable to know that you have that class at that time with that teacher. So you know your timetable and know your teachers. Tip number 2, create a study timetable. I know, study timetable. Why, if I'm not going to use it? Create a study timetable. Create a study timetable. I am urging you to. Creating a study timetable not just ease a lot of burdens off you, but it helps you to remember things. So, I see person creating study timetables to study every single day, and they study for all 3, 5, 4 hours. How is that going to profit you? You have to make learning fun and challenging, not boring. It is what you put it to be. So if it's boring to you, you put it to be boring. So you create a study timetable, and I'll get into that a little later. Next tip, set an alarm for everything. You're not a nerd. Don't think that. Don't think that. Yes, you might can't bother, but trust me, it's going to profit you. We're all human beings and we forget things. What I do is I create a study timetable for all my classes since it's all online. I have all my classes online. So what I do is I create alarms for all my classes and I put it to repeat every single week. So what I do is that I set the alarm for 5 minutes before a class. If it's a case where you're attending primary level education, and I know most primary level education, what they do is have class back to back. You can just create like 2 alarms, and that's one for the morning and one after lunch. So you don't spend too many times in your lunch that you forgot to log on back on class. So what you want to do is you want to set your alarms for 5 minutes before your class so that you can get enough time to prepare and gain access to your classes. Next tip, create a study space or a space where you can have your classes. How is this going to work? Creating a study space doesn't only look formal, but it gives you that classroom vibe, that study vibe. It puts you in the mood that you're in class. Doing your work on a bed, or doing your bed sitting on the floor, it gives you that lazy vibes. So when you have a study space or space for your classes, it makes you feel more comfortable and more like you're in classes or you're studying. The things that you'll definitely need while you're studying are necessities like folders, pens. Never have one pen. It's best if you buy like a pack of pen so that if one run out, you can always have another one. Pencils, pen, all the necessary stationaries, and most of all, highlighters. And I'm going to get to the highlighting part soon. So next thing, you want to write your notes in a separate book and then transfer those notes into your subject book. For example, I have a book, right? If you look keenly, you'll see on it says Notebook 2020. So what I do is I write my rough notes. So whenever I'm in a class, I write my notes in that. And then after the class or whenever I have time, I'd rewrite it into my subject book. What this does is that it gives, you don't make many mistakes when you're rewriting the notes. So you can correct whatever error you made while you were in class, correct those errors, and then it also helps you to memorize while reading over and rewriting your notes, because you're memorizing and rewriting. And this will help you when studying or when actually doing exams, because you are the one writing it and you're the one reading it. So sometimes these are the simple things that click back to memory when you're doing a test or when you're studying and things like that. Alright, so I know you might be saying, I can't write my notes. I find it hard to keep up with my teachers or lecturers or tutors. I find it very hard to keep up with them when they're talking, and especially if they're dictating notes. So what I'd say to you, my best example to do is record the notes. So like, turn on your phone, go on recorder and record every single thing. And then while you are rewriting your notes, you just go through that as well. So don't just say you're going to record it and don't write nothing in the class. Write as much as possible, but still record, so that anything important you miss, you'll get to hear it while going over the recording. And as I am on the point of importance, this is something that I love to do. So you have to listen very keenly in class, right? And if a teacher says something important, you write it immediately. Write it immediately, and if you don't hear it, you ask them to repeat and confirm it. You write it immediately, and just don't write it like any regular notes. You highlight it best with the brightest highlighter you have, and put beside it note briefly so that when you're going over, you can see it. And if it's something like an assignment, you'd want to like put it on your calendar or on your alarm so that you can remember. Alright, so we're on the highlighters. When you're rewriting your notes and you're reading over everything that you write in your notebook, what you want to do is highlight the key points. Highlight the key points that was said in class, the key points of a note, the key points, the important details that you know that these are things that I think I'll probably get on a test, so that when you're studying, it's much easier for you to study because you'll be studying the key points. So it'll be much easier for you. And especially if you're doing like an assignment and you have to go over your notes, you don't have to be running through, searching for where did you write this. You can just simple look at the points that were highlighted. And what I do is that I use the most I'd use is 4 highlighters. So what I do is I'd highlight, edit my page and I highlight that. So when I'm searching through, I can just search for the highlighted part. Like if I want to go to my notes, like for example from November the 6th, what I'll do is that I'll just skip and search for the highlighted part that has that date. So it's much easier to identify. So one highlighter is strictly for that, and then another highlighter is strictly for the topic itself. The other 2 highlighters now, one is for like the subtopics, and then the other one is like for key points. Anything that I want to remember and I know that I can't remember, things like that, I'll use that highlighter for that purpose only. YouTube and Google, those are the 2 most effective ways you can find things, explain things more in depth to you. And I would advise YouTube. How can I have fun when I have school? Trust me, as I said before, it is what you put it to be. So if it's boring, you put it to be like that. If it's fun, you put it to be like that. So you want to dedicate a day to do all your schoolworks so that you can have time to go on social media, spend time with your family and chat and all those things, right? So dedicate a day to do all your schoolworks. This will not just give you time to have fun, but it will take a lot of burden off yourself. Do your assignments immediately. And when I say immediately, I mean immediately when given. Next thing, as I'm talking about other things, when doing assignments, try to do the difficult ones first, or the heavy one. Next thing, when it boils down to like exam, you don't want to be all over the place studying. That's the whole point of this video, to avoid things like those. So, my best advice to you is to create or join a study group. I would normally do it immediately as school starts or like the week after. So you choose some persons, hey, you want to come into a study group. You don't do it like the month or week before exam. You do it immediately as school starts. So it's something that you can do like on a weekly basis. You study on a weekly basis. Most of my friends in school, they know me as someone who loves to create study group. Because I'm not going to wait on you to do it. My education means a lot to me. So I am going to take up that responsibility. Create a study group, get persons who I know they are very serious about their schoolwork, get them involved, are more academically inclined than me to be a part of that study group, as well as persons that are not as academically inclined as I am. And we study, and how I study is that we studied the difficult topics. So we choose topics that all of us find difficult, or most of us find difficult, and we study those topics. Work on difficult things, not the easy things that I can do by myself. So what I do is I study those topics in groups where I hear everyone input, And that challenged me. That challenged me to learn. That challenged me to go do research and everything like that. And what I'll do is I'll leave the simple things. I leave those simple information that I know are easy to remember, easy to study. I leave those things for myself. I leave those things for myself to study on my study timetable. So, when you're studying, and this is what I think most persons seem to do very, very incorrect. When you're studying, don't start from the first day of school. That's not going to profit you. You want to start from the most difficult notes. So wherever the most difficult notes start, that's where you're going to start studying. So you start studying from the most difficult notes. So you know that when you study, and like a month or 3 months or whenever you finish studying all the difficult notes, you'd have time to go over everything on a whole, including the simple things. You can't say you're going to study and you're studying like for like 5 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. Come on. As I said before, the brain, you have to take care of your brain. You cannot be studying for long hours. If you want to study for long hours, at least take some short breaks. Take some breaks and try to relax your mind. Before you start studying, what you want to do is eliminate all distractions. And our biggest distractions are our phones or gadgets. So you want to put all of those on silent. Because I am the type of person that use my gadgets to do research while I'm studying, I'm not going to put them away. What I'll do is I'll put them on silent so that I don't get distracted or have the urge to go and check my notification. And what you want to do as well, if it's a case where, like me, you use your phone or whatever gadget to do your research while studying, whenever you're going to grab it up again to like do a research, you want to quickly cancel all your notifications so you don't have the urge to go and check them. Because if it's at the top of your screen while you're watching like a video on how to do a particular thing, you're going to have the urge to go and click on one of those notifications. We're all human beings. So just quickly cancel everything so you don't have the urge to look. You want to keep out of noise as much as possible. As I said, create a study space where there's silence and everything. But if it's a case where you live in a very small house and there's not much space to move around in and you don't have your own room or anything like that, I'd advise you to do like go somewhere, not really say necessarily someone's house or something, but you can like probably go like outside. I don't know, go under a tree, go outside somewhere where not much persons are, or borrow your parents' room to study, and understand, find creative ways to study with less distraction. So while studying, you want to find something that is very soothing to you, right? When I'm studying, I love to listen to music, and I'm not talking like loud music or, I'm talking some nice gospel or R&B or souls. I like to listen to those music when I'm studying, especially gospel, because it helps me to relax my mind and it helps me to focus. Even though I'm singing to it and everything, it helps me in the exam. Whenever you're going to study, you want to eat something very, very light. Your break should not be longer than your study session. While you're on that break, you want to do something fun. Something to clear your mind. So guys, those are my tips for you. I really, really, really hope they work for you. They work for me very, very well. Guys, it was really nice doing this video. I really hope I help a lot of persons, especially now that it's exam time. I know for the university students, most of you probably finish your exams already. But for like the primary and secondary level students, these tips are mostly for you, and I hope you use it well and not just watch this video because you want to watch it, but actually apply these tips that I've told you. With that being said, guys, until then, see you.